Oh, woo. Oh, wow, that's really small.
Oh, I'm so small in the corner.
It's fine. I got this. Welcome back, but it's not my show, so shut up, me.
Actually, why don't you leave it in the why don't you leave it in the other form? It was fine. It's too late. We've gone too far.
That's good.
Hi.
That's good.
I'm
Hi.
fine with it. Nobody's in that corner.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it is actually a little bit weird. It's a little bit uncomfortable being in here with the rest of you plebs, with you
This
peasants.
was so much. This was so much fun.
I hope y'all had fun. I hope the audience
really
had
did.
fun. Because this is of course a hack of Grant Howard's Sexy Battle Wizards. So it's and as most one-page RPGs goes, it is entirely dependent on the people playing because there is no fucking rules whatsoever.
It's very rules light, and I do like that for it. It instead of the fun thing to me about D&D about 5th edition is like getting to solve a puzzle by picking the pieces that you put into your PC and seeing how it comes up against like the different NPCs and enemies and dungeons and stuff like that. But in a rules light thing, I really like how like we can just be as cinematic as we fucking want with like the general guidelines of you succeeded in this direction or you failed in this direction.
Yeah. I love rules light games because they give more power, it feels like, to the player.
Yeah.
So I have to have a moment. I just did a stereotype word. Okay.
Well, no, but it feels it kind of feels like the collaborative storytelling is more collaborative.
Yeah. I've played a wonderful tabletop game called Numenera, which is similar. It has more rules. It's a whole book instead of one page, but it's also very sort of rules light and narrative heavy. And I love these kind of games. I really do. And I'm really glad we got to feature it here because
Fate is also very good for that, but it's not great from like Fate is better as like a tabletop game as opposed to like a podcast or a Twitch stream. But like Fate also has like a very rules light vibe. And fun fact for those of you who don't know, you can actually play Fate on Fantasy Grounds. Like they have the access to like the dice rules and the systems for it. So that's fun and interesting and good to know for future reasons. And also because Fantasy Ground Club.
Yes, and to be clear, like we are, in case it's not obvious, we are looking at a lot of different possible directions that this channel or wherever this group decides to go will go. And I think that just having me as the DM every time in one campaign, which is great and it's fun and I have a wonderful time, but I feel like we can do more than that. And this was sort of a test run for that as far as I was concerned, and I really loved it. I thought it was great. We both had a new DM and a new, an entirely new system, and I have to applaud. I have to say thank you, Em. You did a great job, and I appreciate you taking the pressure off of me during finals week. I'm glad that I did not have to prep for this game. I really, really am.
I mean, if it matters, I didn't prep for this game.
I mean,
that's kind of
to the degree that any of us do.
In the original Sexy Battle Wizards, they have a section for basically like if the DM has decided that we're going to play this game where they can roll on tables to see what's going up. So like it is designed 100% to be like, so I downloaded this 20 seconds ago and I've decided we're playing it. If that's the vibe of your table group, if you want to try it out. Yeah, for sure. I definitely say check out the Sexy Battle Wizards thing. We have changed literally just the section where it's like what your type of werewolf is, and I think that's the only thing we actually changed.
I edited some of the magic and the weapons so that it reflects most of the different paths you can go with Blood Hunter as far as like damage types and specializations.
Cool. Yeah, I had the idea. Olivia did 98% of the work. I will not take any credit for that shit.
I'm a bureaucrat. I like typing things up and putting them into boxes.
If I had energy and time, I would love to be a bureaucrat.
Yeah. Oh man, this was This is a lot of fun. We did one of these before off stream where I was playing Bathu and Jeff was playing Bevan. So we were the two Boulder Shoulders off on a wolf adventure, and it was very fun, and it was a very different dynamic because it's, they're the two Boulder Shoulders. We've seen them scouting together in the campaign before now. So getting to do Kevin and Bathu was an interesting dynamic.
There were some instances in the playtest game that we did that did come up again here. Very specifically was the absolutely dog shit werewolf to transform roll.
Yeah, you did immediately, like, the next roll rectify it. Poor Jeff in the game, like 3 rolls and he still wasn't a full wolf.
He kept failing it. Like, bad. Like, I think he did technically do a full breakdown where he was like, I can't even do a wolf correctly. It was lovely and wonderful. And that's the type of weird shit that we do. Now, here's a thought. So I have this currently set up in Fantasy Grounds, which does mean that these characters could be converted from their Rugged Tumble Werewolf selves into actual 5th edition characters. And now we also know that these characters have at least 3 levels of Blood Hunter in order to ensure that they became part of the Order of the Lichen. Now, yeah. The question is, assuming I run a level 7 one-shot first of the Lycanthrope boys and possibly one other, depending on what Jen wants to play. What would the other 4 levels be? I would say you can multi-class because that makes sense to me. What would your characters have?
I feel like Kevin would probably go mostly into fighter. Like, it's such a great class. It's somewhat underrated because people think that it's like the default choice. But with some levels of Blood Hunter, I feel like a fighter Blood Hunter for him is a really good combo that could really wreck some shit.
Yeah.
And it would also be really, like, thematically appropriate.
Yeah.
I think Bathu, like I said, he's kind of the scout, the ranger type. He's like when we first met them back when we didn't know that they were named Bathu and Bevan, they were the 2 scouts that had gotten sent ahead to go meet the party after they came out of the Stone Tooth the first time.
Who did that, by the way? Was that me? Or did someone in chat suggest this?
I think it was Olivia in chat.
I think Jeff is the one who's like, they have to have B names, and then I was the one.
Yeah, I was about to say I would love to take credit for that, but I don't think it was me.
I think I came up with one of them in chat, and I think somebody else in chat did the other one.
Yeah. I think Psychothrop was up in it, if I remember correctly.
But so, like, they were introduced as the 2 dwarven scouts that were sent ahead because Barnabas had made the decision to start moving his army over here to take the Stone Tooth. And so, yeah, I think Bathu would be a ranger, and I've never played a ranger in 5e, so I have no idea what kind of ranger. I don't think he has an animal companion.
No. I don't think he would go with the animal companion version.
No, I'm like, as it is now.
I would love to see it. I would love to run it in the future. That would be so much fun for me.
You have seen the efficacy of a Gloomstalker in our other game that we do off stream, so that's a thought. Like, Gloomstalkers have more fun. They just do.
Right, but he's also a dwarf, so, like, I like the idea that, like, maybe through a feat he has some rangery abilities, but he's actually, like, secretly just a fighter, or maybe he's a bit of a barbarian. Or fuck, what is
there is the bestial barbarian, like, subclass, which also would be appropriate.
Which was an option that I almost went with for Vic.
It's a thought. Just a thought.
Just think about it. I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but think about it.
Right. Maybe he's a druid and he doesn't know it. He just thinks he's a ranger.
That would also be funny. That would also be good. Like, no, I have never changed into an animal. Well, technically.
I have changed into an animal, but that's
different though. Now, I did make a very, very obscure book allusion, and I don't know if either of you know what it's from, just because this is fun for me.
No.
So it comes from the books from the Del Toro Quest books.
Not familiar.
I'm not familiar.
That's okay. I'm a nerd, y'all. So
I have my nerd series as well. It's all good.
There is an NPC that they meet that has his four most prominent like personality flaws have become dogs that are attached to him, like by like weird veins that like they like grow directly. They're like his wrath and greed and stuff.
Oh, so you weren't making like a kid on a leash reference. You were making like an obscure.
Oh, like look! I want you to know how often I reference the Phantom Toll Booth in an obscure way, because I'm that person. So yeah, no, I do very obscure book drops, by the way. Yay! But no, this was just fun for me. Also, if you guys would have fought that thing, it would have been bad.
Yeah, no, I got that. I got how you were like, there's so many combatants, I'm not even going to give you a number. This dude looks like the most
we could have taken them. We could have taken them.
Oh, you meant the female orc with the staff.
The female orc, generally, like, it could have been a positive encounter. It could have been a negative encounter. It could have been things like you have decided to become, you could have technically convinced her, if you wanted to get have her give you the like shambling mounds that she had on, so you could have pretended to be part of their army to like sneak in.
Oh, okay. And instead we just freaked the fuck out. A wolf was running past her,
and that's okay too.
A wolf fell on her and then ran away.
Look, it all worked out. Let's not nitpick the details. We did what we set out to do. Nobody has to know the minor slip-ups that happened along the way.
I love the idea now that she just always is now a little nervous about there being a wolf up in a tree. She doesn't understand why that happened.
I also wanted to point out that she the way, like, the reason that her flesh was like pale and like devoid of color and stuff was because she was one of those druids that were kind of like puppeted and shit at one point in time.
Oh man, speaking about puppets and that Lord drop, who that the dude they saw that had the fucking vines, the thing, like the people who had come out of the Gulthias tree. Like, what is this need?
Someone continued Galax? No, that's the other guy.
Gallic.
No, not Gallic.
Garrick.
The fucking druid from the very beginning.
No, that's a guy from DS9. I don't remember his name. Gallic was the guy from the
yeah.
Was that not the evil druid?
Gallic was Gallic and Thorn from the Colosseum. I don't care. Bellac. Anyway.
We got there.
So, is there another Gulthias tree or equivalent to a Gulthias tree somewhere? Or somebody worked out how to do it without needing a Gulthias tree? What the fuck?
Or was this guy from before we destroyed it?
Right? Because even after we burned the Gulthias tree, the other puppets were still moving around. So was he just an OG from way back when?
I'll give this as a hint.
You don't have to answer it.
No, I'm not going to answer. But like, there is, as you think about it, nothing particularly special about the Sunless Citadel, like, that would make this Gulthias tree grow, other than the fact that it's hidden. Like, you don't have to grow it underground.
No, it's the fact that there was a druid there doing it.
That's true.
No,
yeah.
The origin of the Gulthias, I know the characters didn't learn this, but the origin of the Gulthias tree is the fact that an old fucking vampire got staked and then someone grew the stake into the tree.
Look, like, there are a lot of old vampires out there. There are a
Like,
lot of old vampires out there.
But like, it wasn't
We
just
can
a
find
normal tree that like a druid started fucking with. It was weird from the beginning.
Yes. But the other thing is that white robed druid that you guys met was at one point in time that you almost talked to once. That person you saw on the street that one time was at one point in time either a puppet of a Gothias tree type, or was a druid that was crafting one that decided to stop doing the thing.
Mm.
And
Maybe realized the error of their ways before it got too far.
Wherever the fuck they might be, they do also have two basically shambling mounds on like leashes. So like, figure your own shit out. They're not great, but
they're probably not actively an antagonist yet.
They're not actively an antagonist, but also they're not actively like they are actively a druid and a neutral party. They're probably not super happy that the forest is on fire though.
Fucking druids.
But they're also like, some trees need to be set on fire in order to seed.
Is the Emerald Enclave ever gonna come and clean up their goddamn mess?
Maybe she was part of the Emerald Enclave, cleaning up some goddamn mess.
I have answers to that now. They're in here. You're not going to get them, but I have them.
I'll pull them out.
I've been thinking about this shit a lot.
Unrelated.
Yeah.
Unrelated. Her staff, it was a very long unicorn's horn at one point in time.
Is that why it was giving off the
You're welcome.
So will Bathu at some point like think back to when he was biting onto it, be like, that was a weird taste?
It tasted like something good died to me.
Like horse bone.
And tingly. But I'm glad that you guys had fun.
I had so much fun.
It was excellent.
Oh man. The implications.
And to be clear, everything that happened is canon. Like
everything that happened is canon.
This was not and I did not know anything about what Em was going to do this evening. But everything that just happened is 100% canon as far as the campaign goes. This is not a side quest. I mean, it's a side quest, but it's not a non-canon side quest.
You also found a holy grove of Saloon.
Right? That only one of them believes might have been that.
No, that was a person that did that shit.
So, I meant to ask, when they transform back into human, do they still have the little white spot?
No, and if they transform back into wolves afterwards, it'll be gone.
Oh,
I know. Yeah.
I kind of want the
little blip.
Like, so I imagine, no, here we go. Kevin and Bathu will begin to use like powder to like make a little spot on their nose. And I imagine that's going to start spreading through the camp as a sort of fashion. That is also canon now. That has happened. That is happening.
Down white hand of Saruman. Very toned down.
Yeah. It's just a boop the snoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how Saloon's like, calm the fuck down.
Chill out. I can't do much, but like maybe calm down a bit.
Well, and I liked too the different kind of werewolves there. How we made different choices of how when Kevin lost himself to the wolf, he went on a murderous rampage. And when Bathu lost himself to the wolf, he was like, must protect.
Like, he didn't protect. He did an attack.
Well, yeah, how there are different ways to like give into animal instincts, and not all of them are vicious, but not all of them are perfect, are not vicious.
Correct. I like the fact that we got to see like some personality of characters that are not like, forefront. I think it
was very lower decks. I make the Babylon 5 reference all the time because Babylon 5 is a sci-fi series that often will take an episode and just devote it away from the main characters entirely, just to like random peons number 5 and 6 who work in repairing air shafts, and what happens when shit goes wrong on their shifts. And it's really good, and I like it. And I like this. Like, I feel like this was a really good addition to the story of our campaign. Much like the Halloween episode was, I feel like this added something really important to the, to the lore, as it were.
There is an aspect, Rob, I was talking to you about this in the past, of the difference between playing a PC focused like campaign versus a saga, which is where sometimes you're in the, you're playing the characters that find the problem, and then later on you play the characters that deal with the problem.
Right.
So that way you can, like, the world feels more full because everybody's got like 6 or 7 characters in various stages across the world. Versus like a troop game, which a lot of people see as like kind of smaller, but more of the if person A breaks off from the main group, then the other players might make additional characters that would attach to person A as the camera follows them to tell that story instead, which generates minor characters, but not necessarily like, the like the cop that finds the body, and then also like the serial killer that did the body.
I could totally see like giving a player control of an NPC or a monster manual character to just hang out with, and you can take the stats and do what you will with them while someone's off doing it alone. That's a good way of splitting the party that doesn't like leave anybody out.
Yeah, I like the idea of being able to navigate the camera to like different parts of the world. So like we're intending in the future to go back to see Hyacinth and such. And I feel like having that, and then having additional characters that pop up around there to be like, that's kind of what I view as part of an epic campaign. Epic being like story as opposed to like epic level.
Right.
Because it's giving focus. If we were to, for instance, do a zoom in and have 2 people play Gallic and Thorn, and they're like do their escape, possibly with Ghost, like that would be another aspect that I could see happening.
Could be a lot of fun. I agree.
It would be interesting because you can go back and forth. Time doesn't exist. This is
I set this up under the assumption, and a lot of the things I did in the Xanathar arc referenced things that happen in the Dragon Heist module.
Yeah.
So like I always kind of assumed that either with you all or with someone else, I would end up running the Dragon Heist module and like
get to set it in the same world.
The Brawling Barbarian brothers would definitely show up in that game. Not show up, but at least like as, did you hear about these people? They came in, they kicked ass, and then they left. Who leaves? Like that sort of thing.
They came in, they kicked ass, they went with the Xanathar back to his office for a while, and then they left.
They probably got disintegrated, but they're still amazing.
Yeah. But like because the world doesn't revolve around the PCs as much as the world revolves around the PCs.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it sort of does.
Like, when you make little pockets of other PCs, it makes it so the world is more real.
Yeah. Well, it's so that the world doesn't have to revolve around them, even if the narrative does.
Correct.
That's one of the reasons why I decided to do the Anton group in the first place. Like,
yes.
I always knew, because I'm a big Order of the Stick fan, I knew there would be at least one like antagonist adventurer's party. And in this world, like, adventuring is very lucrative. There are a lot of adventuring parties out there. It's kind of amazing you haven't met more, and that's just because I have been not wanting to make more of them. But like having a main antagonist party with kind of sort of foils to your characters, and then having you all play them was super satisfying. Absolutely loved that.
Yeah, the Anton episode Halloween special is all out on YouTube now, right?
It is. It's all out on... Oh, wait, hold on. I'll put it into the chat. It's all out on YouTube. In fact, we are about to move into the episode after that, which was... I don't even remember. Yeah, the most recent one. which I'm sure things happened, and my memory isn't working right now.
Yeah, it's all of the buildup to before the full moon.
Right.
It's everything that the PCs are doing in the mountain.
We'll talk about that in 2 weeks when I'm in charge again.
Oh man. So, and yeah, like we're saying, we're speaking of shifting POVs. This is just the first instance of what happens on the night in the full moon. We just were following the werewolf boys, but we're going to be skipping around to like what's happening with Barnabas and his army, what's happening inside the mountain, what's happening over in Hyacinth, and all that.
Don't remind me. I have so much shit to write. And I'm sure that a lot of it will happen in the shower, like 5 minutes before it's game time. I feel that. I understand that.
You've heard of shower thoughts, but have you heard of bath thoughts?
Oh man, I always seem to have my best thoughts right as I should be going to sleep, and I'm like,
oh, I hate that.
I have to write it down or I'm gonna forget it. I'm not gonna remember.
For that reason. A boy. His head's gone. His head ran.
Oh no! He got slapped so hard his head flew off.
So here's a question. Do you guys have any anything about like this situation that you would have wanted to go different?
I wish we had found out a little bit more about that druid before we both lost ourselves to the wolves, but I think it's in retrospect, it's funnier that we did it.
It's truly funnier.
We already have a really good track record of non-PC groups like doing good things, but then completely missing the very pivotal thing they should have learned that would really make the player characters' lives easier. This is the second time it's happened. It happened with Anton's group as well. They were like, hey, this seems like a really big ritual site of some sort. Whatever. And they left.
Wait, what was this? What? With Anton's group?
Did that not happen? Did I imagine that? I seem to remember you all like found some evidence of some sort of ritual magic happening there, but I think there was a failed roll, and it was like, whatever.
We found the big machine that was making the pies. We cut the machine in half, and then we burned the building and the fields. We didn't just leave. Okay,
fair enough. I didn't realize that was the part you were contesting. Yes, you didn't just leave.
We didn't just leave.
You absolutely obliterated the area.
Yes. Excellent. Perfect.
Anyway.
Did we find out what it did? No. Did we take care of it? Probably.
I wish Jeff was here because I would have loved to see the three of y'all.
Oh man.
We'll definitely do these characters again sometime. Like it's definitely gonna happen. Sure.
I mean, I feel like these three characters plus maybe one or two more probably have the opportunity to become adventures in their own right. Hence why I'm like low-key like sidebar pitching some one or two shots.
Right, we get the three werewolves. Maybe Gallic and Thorn make their way up north, kind of round out the party.
I figure we'll like Jen make something. That's probably similar.
I have always wanted to. I've never found a game to play them in, and this wouldn't be the one to play them in, but I've always wanted to play a were-rat because they just seem so cool.
They are really cool.
It seems like instead of the the lycanthrope, the transforming into the giant monster kind of trope, they get smaller and sneakier and like more disease ridden, and like so they're a monster but in the kind of opposite direction, and I've always wanted to do that with a character.
I've always liked werebears. In a big module that I played in 2nd edition called Night Below, one of the early NPCs that you meet is a werebear that was being attacked, and you have to calm them down and shit because werebears are good. And that was something that I like, that drew me right away. I was like, yeah, werebears, awesome.
When I was building Vic, I was deep diving because I was like, I kind of want her to be a werewolf. I wasn't originally intending for her to be a blood hunter. But I found some homebrew stuff that was like, so werewolves get these benefits. So what if we spread those out like their class abilities? So that you get,
eventually
at that level. So that way, it takes to level 10 before you actually get your regeneration the same way. like that
probably
like thing.
The 17th would be the invulnerable to all shit except
or some shit like that. Like, so it's spread out, so it doesn't, so you're not getting all of it at once, but you still have to deal with the fact that, you know, you're still a werewolf, which means that if you fail a save, you wake up later. and werewolves are canonically like alignment wise chaotic evil. So when you're in your like brain out state, you do chaotic evil shit. But then they made like a comment loadout about werebears who are lawful good. So it's like, you know, you fall unconscious on the full moon and you wake up and you've built an orphanage and done all of your taxes. And I'm like, excellent, correct. But like with the blood hunter things, you don't have to be a werewolf necessarily. You could be like a were rat or a were tiger or some shit like that. There's nothing saying that you have to be a wolf, especially since we use the term lycanthrope as if it's therianthrope. In modern English. So, or specifically in D&D modern English.
It means shift into monster animal.
Whereas I mean, like if we were to run this as a one shot or a two shot in D&D, if we decide to have like, you know, a werewolf party and stuff, it doesn't have to be werewolves. It could be, you know, a were-tiger or some shit.
Yeah. I have before, not in this, in a homebrew campaign, I threw in a werewolf NPC that the players never found out that they were a werewolf. They did notice in separate occasions that they didn't take damage that they normally should have, and that they could talk to wolves. And there was like another thing that
also, silver makes them really uncomfortable.
They didn't touch the silverware, but like it all happened spread out over a few different sessions. Like nobody put it together, and then the character just went away. And I was like, y'all will never know that they were a werewolf. It was right in front of you. But like the not turning into a wolf part, like all the other abilities are these, like if they're not all put together, you wouldn't necessarily assume werewolf. So that would be an interesting part to play too.
Yeah. But yeah, so ta-da, we did it.
I had a lot of fun.
There's no levels in this game. Ha ha
ha. I'm gonna take another stress.
One determination.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. So like you were saying, 2 weeks from now we're gonna be back with more normal stuff, we're hoping.
We're going high.
Yes, well, we'll see. It depends on who's available. We could jump straight to what's happening at Hyacinth's home. On the other hand, I kind of like the idea of jumping to the player characters if we're all here.
Right. We haven't even met your new player character yet. They just walked into the room and we went next time.
That said, I do think that wrapping up is probably a good plan. We've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
Great session, by the way. Absolutely loved it. Great being a player for once on stream. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm willing to do this again.
You want to do plugs and then get out of here?
Yeah, okay. I'll start with me. I am M. I occasionally stream over at One Silver Key on Twitch. I haven't in a while because I work in retail. I'm also One Silver Key on all the places. So like, you know, follow me if you want. If you don't, also fine.
I am over at A Measure of Separation at Tumblr. It's where I post the fic I write and the AMVs that I make and all the art and all that shit. I put it in chat. It's, yeah, come check out stuff and hang out on Tumblr. It's a dumpster fire, but it's not actively on fire like Twitter is right now.
But it's our dumpster fire.
It's intentionally misspelled, by the way. I am Math Demigod on Twitch and Twitter and Patreon, I suppose. Also, you can find the VODs of this very stream over on youtube.com/gamingmathematically, which I'm currently putting into the chat right now. And yeah, as far as the rest of it, I do a bunch of other stuff there as well. I do tutorial videos for Against the Storm. I have a Pathfinder campaign I'm doing, so check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, bye.
I don't know how to end this. We ended it. End it. Bye.